Hey everybody, Frick here. Last year I did a quick review of the Tesla Model 3, but this year we are going to step it up a notch. This is the $100,000 Tesla Model X. Now, by default, this is an $85,000 vehicle, but we have the $5,500 black Onyx rims added onto it. We have the full Autopilot navigation added onto it, which is about $7,000. And then we have the 7-seat interior, which is an additional $3,000. So without any further ado, we're going to look around the car and inside, and then we're going to take it for a drive. All right, let's start by taking a look around the outside of the vehicle. The first thing I notice is these beautiful 22-inch rims. These are stock rims, all black. They have the Tesla brake pads in there. The car also has sensors and cameras around pretty much the whole thing. You'll have one there, as well as one in the door right there, and that's on both sides. No door handles. They're just flush with the car. You can just simply press them and the door will open for you. You can press it again to close it if you want. This is the back of the vehicle. Has a spoiler. Let's open the trunk. I'll show you that. Alright, so this is the 7-seater model. It does cost a premium to get these extra 2 seats in the back. I was a little worried about space, but they do have quite a bit of space. It doesn't look like it here, but these seats here also slide forward, so they're slid all the way back right now because I have a car seat in there. They also fold into the ground. There is a very subtle button here, if you could see, and that will fold the seats down. So we're going to do that for both of them just to show you. So you got quite a bit of space there, and you can also fold down those ones as well, so you'll get even more space if you need it. And like I say, this isn't on all models. You do have to pay for those extra 2 seats. You also have a lot of room under here. It goes quite deep. The charger's in there right now. A lot of room in the trunk, and you also have a trunk in the front, which I'll show you in a second. The key fob is just a miniature replica of it, and there's buttons all around it. You can't really tell, but if you press the trunk button in the front, or you double click it, it's going to pop that. And then you have one for each door, and then of course the trunk as well. So you have a little trunk here, good for a couple bags. Not huge, but of course because all the mechanical parts are on the bottom, Tesla's able to do that. Alright, let's take a look on the inside. So we're going to open the gull wing doors. So Tesla calls the back doors Falcon Wing doors. Nothing new, they've been seen in other cars, but they're really cool. All you got to do on your key fob is just double tap the door you want to open. And as you can see, they open up and out. And this actually requires less clearance than a regular door. The cool thing about it is, as well, is that they have sensors on them. So if you do try and open them next to an obstacle, they will only open exactly how much they need to, and they will make sure they do not hit anything else. As I mentioned, again, this is the 7-seater, all leather seating. Got your 2 in the front, you got 3 right here, and then an additional 2 in the back, which we folded down. The front has a oak style wood grain to it. You'll notice the huge 17-inch control panel screen that you control pretty much the entire car from. And one thing that's exclusive to the Model X and the Model S is that secondary screen dashboard behind the steering wheel. You do not get that on the Model Y or the Model 3. The Model 3 and the Model Y are controlled simply by one horizontal screen in the middle. So that's the inside. Looks very, very nice. One thing that I thought was cool is, like most back seats nowadays, you get these vents here, but on this Tesla you also get vents on the side as well, so a lot better airflow. You get a couple USB ports there, you get a couple more in the front. The armrests here double as cup holders. You have some other cup holders here. Now these are just simply trays. You'll see some grooves along there. You can customize the size of the cups that you're holding simply by, just sliding these out and putting them where you wanted them, depending on what kind of beverage you're holding. You can actually just click that in and it will close. You can close the whole thing. You have some USB ports down here as well as a 12-volt charger, a speaker, and this closes as well. But that is the interior of the Tesla Model X. You have some controls that you would find on most vehicles. You have your gear shift right here. There's only 3 gears, 4 I guess if you count the parking brake, the rear, neutral, and drive. And then you have your wipers and your cruise control knobs over here on the side as well. And then your window controls, pretty standard stuff. One thing that's that really sets this car apart is the windshield. So not only do you have a really good view, but the windshield actually comes all the way up. So it's quite a large windshield. It's tinted there at the top. Let me show you the shade. So these are magnets. You just sort of pull that across and it will stick there, and these are your visors, right? So you just pull that down. They also have a mirror here if you need one, and it blocks the sun that way if you need to. Again, all this is tinted, so you don't really need to cover that. Okay, so the Model X has a huge 17-inch screen where you can see all your controls. So the Model X has a huge 17-inch screen that has all your controls. Along the bottom, you're going to see your most popular ones. You have your window defrosters, you have your seat warmers. All you got to do is press them to heat them up. You have your climate control here, where you can set everything. You can do the seat warmers here. All 7 seats have seat warmers built in. You can put it on auto, which I have it on now. You just set the temperature you want the cabin to be, or you can manually control everything if you need to. Also, you have controls for some extra features here. Keep track of your energy consumption, your charging. You have a full internet browser, your calendar. You can look at the cameras, and you have some different features that I'll show you a little bit later. You also control your music from here. You have a whole bunch of different options as far as where you want to get your music from. As I mentioned before, the Tesla Model X, actually all Teslas have a built-in cellular connection, so you'll see the LTE there. So you can access all the stuff without having to use your phone. New this year to Tesla is the integration of Spotify, which is really cool. So you can use all your Spotify playlists, which is awesome, and the Teslas have amazing stereos that you can use as well. Most of your settings, however, are in this icon here. Again, pretty much control everything from here. On the first screen, you'll see your quick controls, so your lights, your door controls, your trunk and your front trunk, and the display brightness. If I go to suspension, I can actually set the ride height, so I can actually lower and heighten the vehicle right from here. So if I want to ride really low, I will just press that, and the whole car will actually lower. Or if I want to ride very high, for example, if I'm going over more rocky terrain, you want to do it very high. So if I just press that, the whole car will rise. Super cool. Takes about 30 seconds to do that. Okay, and you can do some adaptive suspension dampening as well. Pretty cool. You control your lights here. You have your fog lights, your ambient lights, stuff like that. I'll just go through each one of these. You can change the steering mode. So if you like a tighter turn, if you want to make it a little more harder, I guess, to turn the wheel, you'd want to go to sport mode, or you can go to comfort mode to make it a little bit easier. Just some cool features there. We have the Autopilot enabled. This, I'll show you that a little bit later. This one has the full enhanced Autopilot. This costs a little bit extra. I'm not sure of the price exactly. I think it's around $4,000 or $5,000 US, but you get features like summon, which will actually allow you, for example, if you buy, say you go get your groceries at Costco and you're about to come out the front door, if you press summon, your car will actually meet you at the front door. It'll be able to navigate through a parking lot completely on its own. So this vehicle has that. I'm unable to demo it because it's hooked up to your phone, and because this is not my vehicle, I can't pair it to my phone. So you have some other stuff, some front collision warnings, the speed limit warnings, some really cool features in there. In the vehicle section, you'll have just some different things that you may want to use. Really cool features, stuff for the display, trips, navigation, safety and security, service, and software updates. This is honestly one of the coolest features I think about all Teslas, is that they constantly update their software to add new features and improve things that need to be improved upon. Like I say, I rented one of these last year, not this model, but another Tesla, and I've noticed a lot of cool upgrades that they've made to the software since then. So that's really cool stuff. Really great navigation system. You can look at it with the satellite viewer, can look at it like that. You can see all the traffic lights. You can also see all the charging stations. So one great thing is, some people are concerned with charging stations, finding them. The great thing about this is that you can plan a trip and it will automatically tell you which charging stations you need to stop at and how long. So what else is cool is that if you look at one closely, those little red lines that you see there is how many of the current Tesla chargers are being used. So this is telling us that this one has 8 charging stations and only one of them is being used. So that's really cool as well. Now the Model X and the Model S both have a secondary dash, whereas the Model 3 and the Model Y simply have the one screen, horizontal screen here in the front. We have an extra one here. This one will show your music. In the middle, it's going to show your sensors. So it's going to show you all the vehicles around you. It's going to show your lanes, your traffic lights, any obstacles that are in the way. And then on the right side, it's going to show the tire pressure. This left side changes depending on what you're doing. So if you're actually navigating, if I'm navigating somewhere, it's going to change to the navigation. So the best part of a Tesla, though, is the driving aspect. And my two favorite pieces are the speed and the autopilot features. Now to activate the autopilot, all you got to do is double and take your hands off the wheel and it will take care of the rest. The sensors and cameras around the car allow it to see the lines in the road, and it will steer everything for you and keep you within the speed limit. One of the advantages of the enhanced autopilot is that it will merge onto highways and take exits all on its own. All you got to do is activate it. And once it knows that it's safe, with the sensors around it, it will merge into the lanes. It automatically applies the blinker. Switch the lanes for you. All right, so now we're going to test the speed. We are on a little bit of an uphill, so it might be a little slower. But here we are at 0 to 60. So while charging, it takes a little while. If we took a look at the graph here, if I want to do a full charge from where I'm at now, it's going to take an additional 45 minutes. And we're at a Tesla supercharging station. Now it also depends on how many vehicles are also charging their vehicle at the same time. Right now I'm able to get 217 miles of charge every hour. Last night we were actually getting over 350. So again, it just depends on how many cars are charging at the same time. But luckily, Tesla factored that in. And of course, with the Model X, you get free charging for life, which is amazing. But you also have all these features to kind of pass the time. You have a full internet browser on here, as I mentioned before. Every Tesla has their own internet connection connected to cell phone networks. So you have a full internet browser. You have entertainment options: Netflix, Hulu, YouTube, Twitch, and some tutorial videos. And they also have actually, I'll go back there. They also have some games you can play. So anything from Cuphead to beach buggy racing. We got some classics like Asteroids, Centipede. Some of these games you actually control with the steering wheel. It will also take Bluetooth controllers, so you can use a PlayStation controller or an Xbox controller to play these games as well. Other than that, there's some cool features that you can take part in. Of course, my son's favorite is the whoopee cushion, which you can choose a seat in the vehicle and have it fart. And some other cool features as well. So that's just some ways you can pass the time. Also, if you have the Tesla app on your phone and your car is paired to your phone, you can take a walk or visit a restaurant, and your phone will keep you notified of what the charge is currently at, and will let you know when the car is done. You do not want to leave your car at a Tesla charging station after it's fully charged, because you will pay what they call idle fees.